fourth game, and maybe this might be the start of their big comeback all the way to game 5 to victory. But let's talk about that third game first, because that's a good start for them. This was the alliance that we are used to seeing, Grant.
It was a dominating performance. You had Limp on that TA. They had the faster lineup, as we said, and they controlled the map from what, like 5 minutes in? When you control the map from 5 minutes in with a TA, you're going to get complete free farm. This Invoker isn't going to have a game, which he didn't. And all of a sudden, now you have these 2 supports that we talked about that don't do anything on the map in Keeper the Light and Grimstroke. And they were just able, it was a slow, methodical win, but they were winning since about 5 minutes in.
You're stuck in a position where Invoker did good in the laning stage.
Yeah.
And after 10-minute mark, like, his game is non-existent.
It was just over, yeah.
It's really hard. And then you have 2 supports who can't make any kind of rotation. You're relying so much on the Sanking, but he does not have that second/third hero to play with. It's so hard to make any kind of move, so you're just being stuck in a base waiting for Alliance to make a move, and then you counter-react to what they're doing.
Yeah, it was ridiculous too. If you look at the way that we talked about it, if the TA started to slip a bit, it was going to be a big problem. But Limp just snowballed out of control. There's one, I think it was the Grimstroke, where he just basically almost one-shot.
Yeah.
It was insane, like
painful.
Yeah, that's the thing, and as we said, that's what Alliance has to do. And I will say it, I think we both, me and Lacoste agree, the Demon Slayers draft, it's at that 4 and 5. You have to have someone that can move around. You just do.
Yeah, we saw the high ground defense that was forced out once, where actually Demon Slayers had a good shot at taking it with a good shot at taking it. Let's not get too far ahead of ourselves.
Yeah.
But they had a fight that they could actually take, and we did see them do very well in that fight. But at that point, it's kind of already too late.
Yeah, I mean, Old White hit a 4-man stun at that top one. Like, he laid like a beast. They had some follow-up. They got it. But guess what? You didn't kill Nico, baby, and he just almost rampaged.
It's not enough. You have these 2 heroes who can play extremely fast Gyro. Once he gets to level 6, he can easily rotate. That just continues to farm because other lanes are going well as well. TA, the first rows, the second, the third. Like, you're just controlling the map, and it's slow, methodical win for Alliance.
Why was it so slow, though? We've been, cheering Alliance that they are playing so fast. Like the games that they played yesterday, they had some very fast games or fast-tempoed games. And then the game that they win here, the first game that they win in the grand finals,
long drawn out,
is slow. Yeah, they didn't actually successfully go high ground until they had like 35k gold in advantage.
They don't need to throw the game.
Sure.
They're just one game away from being eliminated here, and the lineup they have takes Roche extremely fast, so they don't have to risk anything. They have the vision from the tribes. They know they're stuck in the base. The only way they deal with them is by Sanking, initiating. So it's really tough what the Demon Slayers were in such a tough spot, and it felt like the game was over after 15-minute mark. It just took them way longer than we expected.
Now, during that game, obviously, you guys were once again responsible for voting for the MVP.
I'm curious.
Who did you vote for? It was a slow game with not a lot of moments where it's like, is that person?
Yeah.
So I'm very curious what you guys chose.
I would go I Annihilate.
Limp Juan, because he got that cliff and they love it. Nope, it's I Annihilate again. All right.
Annihilate.
33 on the winning team, so we'll say he got it. And I mean, to be fair, Annihilate actually was, I believe he was 8th on the net worth chart with 10,000 gold.
9th place.
Yeah.
He went to the 9th. I mean, you can't have games like that. And that's the thing. That just goes back to the draft. I feel, you throw that game away. Look at what you did game 1 and 2, not what you did in the minor qualifier when you lost, because that's honestly every draft they did pretty much. So, truthfully, just forget about that game. Look forward. Look at what you did game 1 and 2.
And it felt a bit odd, too, because we talk about them playing together as a team quite a bit. And they started to group up, but it was just too late at that point. You saw them do a bunch of smokes. They moved together. You saw some of those in fast bombs, but they just couldn't find Alliance. And so they kind of I don't want to say wasted the smoke, but nothing came out of it. And then they just kind of went back to farming.
Yeah, when Lifestealer is the only person with farm, I mean, you have to group up because everyone's so weak by themselves, but then Alliance knows you're doing that, and it makes it hard to rotate around the map.
Yeah, a lot of this draft, was decided maybe by the draft. A lot of this game was decided by the draft.
I think so.
There will be another draft for game 4 after the break.
This is the DJ special show. settled, now I've got the radio away. Unlock it, spin it on top. This is a DJ special. Shout out cause she plays my record. Got the ladies waiting to stop. Rewind from the top. Pull up, DJ, start the song again. Hooked up like a better friend. From the edge to turn the bend. Now turning heads with a mix and blend. Got tricks, switch up the vibe we send. Stick around, yeah, we grind to the end. Big set, beginning to trend. Got a crowd and they're ringing their friends. Till they gotta get quick to the club. If a percentage, just spin the dub. We win this challenge from ravers. Bring it in as you balance the faders. Sing, see you later, cause you gone. On the trip, take left through the song. Sound sick that you can't do wrong. Something like a phenomenon. Calling all DJs, what you on. DJs, what you on. DJ, would you play my song? Play my song, play my song. Put it up, replay the record. This is a DJ special. This is a DJ special.
Being one game away from elimination, it seems to have done Alliance good. They get some pressure behind them. They're like, oh, if we lose here, we're out. And they don't want to be out. So it seems like they found themselves anew. We're going to see if that continues here in game 4. We're still at match point for Demon Slayers as well.
Just one game, it's all it takes, but now you felt like it was a very dominating game too, right? That like 25-minute liking game, and then you have this 40-minute game that goes the other way. The tide's a turning maybe. Cinderella not gonna find her slipper, who knows?
Well, Cinderella, technically, it was the prince who found the slipper.
Yeah, but she got it back.
She did get it
She
back.
did find it.
True. But you know what's interesting that Shiva mentioned, when you've got your back up against the wall, that's kind of when you start to really, shove forward. You try to
They can't
bring
attack
that,
you from behind.
What?
They can't attack you from behind.
Well, yeah, that's true. But we've heard a lot of, especially coming from Owen, right, from OD Pixel. He was slamming on some of the people over on Demon Slayers. I believe, what was it, the Legion? He said that she's not even going to get 50 damage towards the end of the game.
Yeah.
And then what was it? The Quap was going to die like 10 times. So we started to, I don't want to say lose faith in Alliance, but I think it was starting to look a little spooky
Or
there.
maybe for I and Light and the rest of his team to win, we just have to say that they're probably going to do real bad and feed, because then they'll want to prove us wrong.
All right, Grant, throw out some flame for us.
I can't. I've been going for Alliance all 3 games, I'm not on, that's on you guys. And it looks like very similar bands, almost exactly the same, except Demon Slayers finally takes out that gyro. Pretty similar besides that, though. Shadow Demon is in now, though.
Yeah.
And I feel you have to take it if you're Alliance. You can't give Demon Slayers a second pick, Shadow Demon.
I think he's higher value than the Coddle at this point.
I think he's much higher, I agree.
Yes.
Yeah, he does so much more. Maybe not in terms of AoE fighting, but
Oh, wow.
I mean, it's
There's the
also a
W.
save. We talked to 33 yesterday, and he said, I just like to press W's.
Yeah,
There you go.
that's your best hero. I mean, it's lockdown, it's the W for your team, and you can do well in your lane if you have a good start. Overwhelming odds, one of those that just can surprise you out of nowhere.
there's really no reason not to pick Shadow Demon here. Against the Legion Commander, you have a save, and they really play so well with it.
Yep, I would like they opened SD Earthshaker.
They go
No, they go
Coddle.
Coddle. It seems like they want a team fight more than against Alliance. It feels like the only reason you truly pick that Coddle is because you do have that team fight ability. If you're on that choke point, you throw it down. Curious to see what they put. That please get a hero that can move. Anything that can stun, move, go around the map, let Flea do his thing.
What do you think, an Earthshaker?
I don't mind Earthshaker. I always like it. It's always counter-initiate, initiate itself.
Earthshaker Tusk.
A save for the Legion as well, yeah, with that Tusk. Moxie won in the last game, didn't see it. Still, I mean, you only see one hero, but Tusk is good against it.
I mean, an Earthshaker here, I think, like you were saying, we haven't seen a Tusk in a while on Fleet, and he can play it, but is his team used to, playing with him on that particular hero as well? So I wouldn't... Okay, Gustavilas.
Yeah,
Chaos Knight.
that's been second phase banned all 3 games, right?
It has. It's
Let's get
also
it.
a hero that we've seen Castabal win on, and especially in combination with the Keeper of the Light,
Yes.
makes a very strong lane.
Yeah, It does. I mean, we saw they played this already, and we saw he got 2 4-second, like the Legion, he got a 4-second stun, Legion purged it, and they got another 4-second
Yeah.
stun. It was just 8 seconds of stun. Okay.
You can press all the
See,
W's
yeah.
you want for that one, but
Good luck.
you can't fix that.
That's kind of part of it, right? It is luck.
Yeah, Alliance. I mean,
chaos.
I can't believe they're not valuing Shadow even higher on either team right
I'm
now.
surprised too. I feel like that's such a great pickup, especially from all the games that we've seen.
Would you want a Legion and a Shadow Demon? You'd be okay with that?
It's great against the CK illusions once he uses the split.
More saves
You can
is
pretty much
better?
kill the illusions in the mid game with just using Soul Catcher plus overwhelming odds on them.
And it's, I mean, enough save there, but I mean, Demon Slayers in their last series versus NIP had a triple save in one of the games. And they do go, okay, so Shadow Demon's out. We said Jakiro kind of was that third favorite fight. It seems like the only 5s we're seeing are legitimately Coddle, Jakiro, and Shadow Demon that have been successful. And I like it. You have the Legion. That means if like they try to counter initiate on you, you have the Ice Path behind him. It's a very nice setup with just those 2 heroes alone.
10 seconds.
It's also kind of a kill combination with the Legion Commander's duel when you use the ulti for some extra damage and then follow it up if he doesn't die with the Ice Path.
And then get the level 25. So even if you duel a BKB target, guess what? You're piercing that spell immunity. Just kidding. I don't know if anyone's ever taken that
I
one,
have.
but have you? Oh,
yeah,
God,
it
never
was a
mind.
turbo game. I wanted to see what would happen.
And what happened?
We won.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, it's
it-
turbo though. It's a different
It's
beast.
true. It
It's
is
fun.
indeed. Now the second phase of ban, so that means there will be a different one from Alliance since they can't ban CK anymore, since it's picked.
There's no more Sand King for Old White. Definitely caused a lot of problems for them in that last game, even though they didn't manage to win. But he was really on point with all
Yeah.
that positioning, and I think it's definitely worth the ban.
And he was a part of or a big reason why they couldn't go high ground
Yes.
for such a long time.
I think Old White honestly might have been he had the worst day on day 1 by far, but he's been by far the best player today, I think. I think him and Juan have been absolutely
5
insane.
seconds remaining.
He's also played a lot of Legion Commander next to the Sand King, so it's going to be curious to see what he's going to play this time.
I am as well.
Night Stalker was one of the heroes that he also played, which is, of course,
I don't think that's
in the pool, but
I mean, you got the Coddle Night Stalker. They seem to love this combo, and
They
it
do.
definitely, I mean, it's paid off for them. I think they won both the games they played it.
I feel like that's a specific pick though, in reaction to certain heroes.
Maybe, but they did third pick it last time when they only saw 2 heroes, and it's kind of, it just deny picks a lot of heroes like Storm, Ember, any of the playmaking middles. You definitely don't want to, like, go against a Night Stalker.
I think that's going to be very important in this game for the side of Demon Slayers, is that Annihilate is going to have to make a lot of space and just put a lot of pressure down on that map, because Chaos Knight, again, we've talked about it, he cannot recover easily.
Yeah.
He's had a really bad lane.
Yeah, after the last game, Annihilate definitely needs to step up a little bit. I mean, he was in such a tough spot. It felt like he wasn't even playing the game.
I mean, he really wasn't. As you said, 9th on the net worth chart. He was sitting in Viz behind heroes, which is, I mean, it's the only thing he could do with that little farm, and obviously you're getting even less farm doing that. But I agree, he had that co-op game we talked about beyond Godleg, like what, 18-0-22, and you know, just bounce back. It was his worst game by far this tournament. Only really bad one today, so don't focus on it.
I'm kind of surprised that none of these teams are picking Raid King.
Yeah, he kind of just fell out of favor, right? Like, it was very, very popular during qualifiers.
Radiant team back.
What happened? What happened to the Raid King?
I saw actually Nico Baby might have been, because he was the one actually pointing at Fada was looking at his screen. He was the one pointing around, so we might be seeing a Nico Baby hero third pick here.
yeah.
Wyvern taken out. That's kind of interesting.
I guess that's
they
really
play Nico?
interesting. What?
When we see a Wyvern ban normally is when Void is still in the pool or
It's Void
something.
or like
It's great
Nico or
against
something
Legion
like
Commander as well, but then having Legion
Coddle.
Commander and Coddle again sounds like a disaster.
I think that I don't think. I mean, luckily it's just a ban, so it's not like you pick something bad. I just don't know why that ban was.
I
There
like
it is.
this. I really like this. I like the Earthshaker pickup. Puts a question mark on the board. They don't know what the draft looks like. Is that going to be Flea? Is that going to be Annihilate?
Radiant team pick.
Oh, instant Magnus. Yep, they just got. There's the buffs again. You got the Legion. You got the Magnus. Why are all the buff abilities W?
I don't know.
Empower, like literally all the defensive ones. Empower, actually all the
Aquatic
buff
shield,
ones.
exactly.
Yeah. But yeah, this is gonna be scary. So already Nico Baby, you know, something like a PA or a Jug is gonna come out. Jug actually
Jug
Wasn't
sounds
it banned?
great.
Yeah, it was banned by Demon Slayers in the last 2 games, and now guess what?
Let's
It's
steal
red.
that jug, put it mid.
Yep.
5 seconds remaining.
Hope not.
Turn to pick.
Oh, I like that. We talked about the jug, so maybe they thought the same thing. You
Yeah.
take the axe in preparation for it.
And Old White, I'm sure he can play it very well as well.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we
we've
haven't
seen
seen him play yet. I'm curious, because it is a little more aggressive. Like Sand King, you go in, you stun, but you can hide on a sandstorm. On an axe, you blink in, you're there for everyone to see. You might just die, who knows?
Yeah, but here's the thing too, is that if you jump in, and the
It
jug
is
as
jug.
expected, if you jump in as Axe, you've got a lot of people to back you up as long as you're in good
You do.
positioning, right? You've got the Coddle who can throw it on Ignis, you've got the Earthshaker, so if he gets that perfect, space, he can just jump on in there. So I don't think it's about, we talk about counter-initiating a lot of the times too.
Yeah. And on the other side, though, you do have the Ice Path, you have the Magnus. Like, dude, these have been the best drafts by it. Besides that last one from Demon Slayers, I have loved all the drafts in this grand finals because they all have stuns, they have counter initiates, they have saves, they have tower damage. Like, both teams, you can tell, are by far probably the 2 best drafting teams here.
Yeah.
Obviously, they're in grand finals.
Which is really interesting. Again, Shiva had mentioned, captains in NA,
Yep,
and Schwann's really showing up today.
he is.
Like I
He
said,
really
we'll forget
is.
the last draft.
I would love to see something that builds into Yule Scepter on side of Alliance against this axe because he's going to be causing the issues. And it's also a great setup for the Earthshaker. It sounds like it's a mid Earthshaker, but they can still swap things around, put it on the position 4. Who has the last pick? Demon Slayers have, so they will be deciding which lane Earthshaker will be played at.
Maybe it's not an Earthshaker middle, because why would they ban the Ember if that was, I guess it could be good for the game, but Earthshaker, we saw Annihilate did beat
Yeah.
an Ember Spirit already. I believe that was yesterday, though.
Yeah,
New day, new hero.
5 seconds remaining.
It might just be for the tempo. They don't want anything faster or to keep up with the Juggernaut mag.
Well, also, how do you catch him if he decides to go for a full-on split push right now? If you're Demon Slayers, it's pretty difficult unless you have the axe like constantly hiding in the tree line or something. But
Yeah. Other thing, and this is, I'm trying to think as well. So they need a middle hero, obviously. It could just be a Death Prophet from Alliance.
Could be.
I think because they're not, they have the 9th pick, they're not overall last pick. We've pretty much seen Lena's and DPs when you're in that 9th pick, and you kind of want either burst damage or someone to group up with. I really like DP a lot.
is a Morphling too slow for Demon Slayers, you think? Well, they can't, right? Because they do have.
They need a
I mean,
mid
they
hero.
can put it on
Yeah,
Annihilate.
position.
He has played it, but I think if you put him middle,
Is it too greedy?
yeah, like if some reason you're like farming middle at 4, because you can't, as a middle Morphling, you can't farm with like 300 HP, because all it takes is like one Ice Path, one, like some random spell from afar, and you just die immediately. They could, but I would be very afraid.
Okay, so it's too risky.
I think it is DP, especially if they ban the Quap. It could also be a Razor.
True.
I think DP or Razor are the best choice. Razor if you want to dominate the laning phase, have a better mid game. DP if you want someone to just run at. I think
It
it-
is.
There it is.
She is.
So then, what does Demon Slayers take here?
They need some kind of burst damage because right now they have none. I mean, you can always fall back to Lena.
I think I like they actually don't have the best catch, right? Blink Legion plus an Ice Pass really is the only catch, and as we said, you've got Earthshaker and Axe standing behind you, so don't be too scared.
What about a Storm?
10 seconds remaining.
If they have very little lockdown. I mean, obviously you have to be very, very cautious, right? Because the Legion Commander duel is great lockdown for that. But otherwise,
It's not bad. I like it. You can. The thing is, like when you think about a Storm, you're like, oh, I can't wait to pick Storm. I'm gonna jump to the back and kill someone.
But who do you
These are
jump
like
right now,
all
other than Takiro?
frontliners.
Yeah, because this
Yeah.
lineup will be grouping up a lot,
Yeah.
so Storm
Can't
will
get
not be
picked
that
off.
effective.
I just want a hero. I want to see Annihilate on a hero that can get in and out because that's when he really shines.
I agree, but I feel like Emperor's
But I don't know what it
Band-
is at this
yeah.
point. That's my problem.
I think Lena's just the overall best pick, and I don't think it's bad because it gives you another stun. It gives you that insane burst damage that you need as well. If you get the Ags, the Juggernaut can't just spin. You just boop,
Yeah.
blow them up. I think this is the longest we've actually seen Demon Slayers. I mean, they finally lost a game in this series. They gotta really think. It is the
It is
Lena.
Lena.
It is
Right.
Lena. You got that
Now
burst?
select your heroes.
Burn, baby, burn.
Burn, baby, burn. Do you like the draft better than previous game? Because I know
Yes,
previous game
100.
we were not really
Yeah.
Yes,
happy with,
for sure.
especially Grimstroke.
Yep.
Support duo better.
Yeah, way better. I believe it is the Earthshaker. Yeah, so you have someone, all we care about is you have someone that can move around. Earthshaker is one of the most movement-based heroes as a 4. Love it. But is it enough to win this game?
That's the question.
Yeah, that's a question that I'm going to ask you guys.
Having Lina as a mid is good because they needed some kind of a burst, but they have Lina and CK as their cores. They will fall off eventually. I mean, CK hits his peak around 35, 40-minute mark, then he just starts falling off. So I'm going to go with the Alliance's draft. I don't think they're on timer at any time of this game, and everything else, all the other boxes are checked for Alliance's draft.
Are we going to do some more 2 Alliance, 2 Demon Slayers?
I
I
think at the
agree with the
moment it
Alliance.
looks like it. But I must say, I find Alliance's draft looks like the easy executable draft. It's like, oh yeah,
Mag
you know,
Jug.
it's Mag, Jugger, Death Prophet.
Yeah,
just go.
exactly.
But at the same time, Juggernaut is one of those heroes that's a jack of all trades, but a master of none.
Is that true?
He's one
Isn't
of
he
those.
the master of
He's got a
blade?
nice even kit, but it's all very simple.
I thought you meant
Vanilla.
lore. He's the master of the blades.
Oh, I don't know. I don't. You'll have to ask
Yeah,
Jake
like,
about
it's
that.
not-
Get the lore right here.
Yeah, the lore. I got it.
You,
No,
I mean,
but
I can make it up right here on the spot if you want.
he is
but-
the master of the blade, though, so you're good. No, I'm going to go with the lines as well. I think what you said is correct. It's just easier. You have the save. I'm never doubting Legion Commander again. You have the save of that. And then if you just want to group up with Death Prophet, Healing Ward, Jug, bye.
I mean, you already know.
I
you
know.
But like, I mean, to really like explain myself though, as we've seen Costabile, he's played this Chaos Knight. I believe he's just done a great job with
Yep.
it. You've got Old White on that axe. He's excellent. The Lina, I don't really love it, but it makes sense in this case. They took the best option available. But yeah, you know, I'm gonna with Demon Slayers.
I mean, the whole day I've been going for Demon Slayers, and
Yeah.
so far, you know, they let me down a couple games, but they haven't let me down a series yet.
True.
I do see Alliance Draft being the logical one to go for, but I'm going for Demon Slayers. Come on.
logic.
I think they're going to have a great game, and they might just be our champions. But let's see if we're going to have a game 5, or if we crown the Open Qualifier team a champion over Jody Pixel Lizard.
Yeah, thank you very much, Shiva. Looking forward to another one of these games. We've had some 3 great games so far between these 2 teams. Last game, of course, we really saw Alliance step it up, give us an incredibly solid performance akin to sort of what we've seen from them so far on this LAN. Demon Slayers, they've got to sort of step up the pace that we heard from the panel. They like Alliance's draft. Do you sort of agree with the statement said?
They went 2 for Alliance, 2 for Demon Slayers, and I definitely have to say that Alliance and Demon Slayers, they have their weaknesses and their strengths when it comes to these 2 lineups. On one side, you have this pushing potential from the Death Prophet and the Jug with the Healing Ward. Also, there's Jakiro, there's Magnus, there's AoE damage, right? There's control. But you're playing versus a Lina. Lina can burst down that Prophet very easily. You don't have a lot of save on the side of Alliance, just the Legion Commander. And the second thing is, you're playing an Axe. Axe just eats that Jug up. I'm just very interested in seeing if Old White is going to have a good game or if they will pressure him super hard as a tri-lane. Because if Axe rolls out of control, Nico Baby won't have a game. This is all about Axe getting that Phases Bracer, Blade Mail Blink into Blade Mail, most likely. Those 2 items are crucial for him because he has this, there's a Magnus on one side that uses RP once in eternity. On the other side, you have this Axe that's going to have that mini RP of his every now and then to catch that Jug out, to just... Jug, if he hits him a couple of times on the Blade Mill, he's dead.
Let's see how Annihilate can do this this time around in the mid lane. Did see there, of course, opting to try and help out at least at the top. So it did mean that Limp got the slightly favorable block off on mid.
The way Flea likes to play is indicative that he might go around mid to help out Annihilate's Lina. And they do have a lot of killing potential there. In that last game, they really didn't have kill potential on the TA. They couldn't rotate with the Grimstroke. Shaker, he can definitely do a lot more when it comes to these aggressive movements across the map.
Interesting there, Flea gets in, drops an obs down at the pull count. So we'll see sort of how long that takes for Alliance to take it away, but will mean that those small pulls will be able to be made for a little bit of time for Alliance on that safe lane.
He blocked the small pull because he's a Shaker and he can fissure block the creep wave, which means that your equilibrium will be messed up for Nico Baby, and Old White should be able to get a couple of CS. Right now, only 1 deny on him, not doing really well, while 3-3 has managed to pull the creep wave under his tower, which allowed him to get this level 2 and also, 3 CS so far. Not a bad start for 3-3, who is alone on his offlane.
So there, Old White getting very deep and aggressive, is going to force sort of the chase here from Hanscan and Fathers. He'll head across, grab the creep waves, able to salve it back to full. See how much these 2 heroes can do to sort of disrupt him from doing this.
He's spinning a lot, but Hanscan is very tanky, and Fata is just hitting him from enough range so that he's unaffected by the spins. They're trying to block him off. Maybe they'll find a kill here if Hanskin continues blocking, but he does not manage to do that, and Shaker is also nearby. They have to back out.
Yeah, it's a little too scary for Hanskin in particular, staying that close to the axe.
Yeah, it's much easier for 3-3 on that other offlane. He basically just got 2 creep waves, just standing behind the tier 1, getting 2 creep waves, and now he pulls them under the tower. Also, he did a really good thing. You can see the sentry on the hard camp next to the Chaos Knight, which means that Chaos Knight cannot just take this creep wave and move it to the hard camp. That would be super effective for him to boost up that farm, but unavailable right now. Need the sentry to devoid.
What are we seeing in the middle lane at the moment? 12 for 4th on Annihilate, having that lead against Limp, being able to sort of shove the wave out very confidently under the tower and making sure that Limp misses a few of the CS. Top lane, Old White, this time falling a little bit lower than before.
There is Cure on Hanskin, but yeah, they don't have the damage. Shaker is also nearby, so can't really do a whole lot. Meanwhile, Kotl just playing with Legion Commander under the tier 3.
Trying to do his best to disrupt some of the CSing, able to apply that mischance every now and then.
Oh.
We're actually going to see, he's as he says, to get him up on the cliff here, but does have a TP available, so will quickly get himself back down. Flea's going to try for the chase, does still have the Fissure, but doesn't want to try. Doesn't feel he has the damage.
There's the healing ward from the Jug coming into play, healing up Hanskin. Also, Hanskin has boots, so you can't really chase him. Once that battle hunger is done, you can't really get that hero. So far, Jug 27 CS, followed up closely by the Chaos Knight 22. So two safe laners pretty much farming really, while Annihilate is playing much better on the lane. Yeah.
He is crushing it. I mean, I guess this is expected for the Lina to have quite an edge.
Definitely, it's expected for Lina to win this matchup. And usually when you're playing Dead Prophet versus Lina, you're at danger at every given point in the game, as you can get bursted down super easily by some Laguna Blade and the stun lock. It surprised me that they got the Dead Prophet, but then again, it does round up their strategy quite nicely with the push potential that she brings to the table, plus the AoE silences.
We see Hanskin
Right.
trying to get the angle for the skewer back. We'll be able to find it. Back into the reaches of Nico Baby. And sets up the first blood for the safe lane Jug.
Maybe there was a fissure available, but he couldn't really find the angle to block the Jug away from the axe, and Old White does fall. These two supports of Demon Slayers are really weak early on. That's probably the biggest weakness of their lineup. These two supports don't do a whole lot in the laning stage. Shaker can do fairly well with rotations perhaps to mid, but as a support on the top lane, he can't brawl, he can't bully anyone out. All he does is fissure blocks the creeps, gets the equilibrium back, and perhaps messes with the pulse. That's his contribution. But Flea is known to be very greedy and very good player when it comes to playing this Shaker, so we can expect some dunks later on if he gets a good time on that blink, and he already has 900 gold.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, well, Demon Slayers, they were just able to walk up and secure all 4 bounty rings at the 5-minute mark.
Yeah, but look at this. This is a little bit, I don't know, problematic. 3-3 shouldn't get as much farm as he's getting.
He's been able to soak up creep wave after creep wave behind the towers, pulling it away. He's falling a little low, as Flea can certainly try and mess with him. Doesn't quite get the connection for the passive, but still with the lockdown.
Oh, you see? Oh, Blinding Light wasn't on point.
Yeah,
he has sticks.
I don't think he's going to have the right clicks to kill this off. 33,
there is
run
Alina
away.
following here.
That'll do it. That'll do it. Annihilate's got his eyes on the map. He heads over, picks up a kill with that rotation.
Yeah, he is like, thank you very much, sir. Embraces him into the lovely fiery hands.
I mean, if anything works out even better, right, rather than going the way of the supports, you're giving your mid a kill.
Yeah, Flea is definitely not happy with that. He would much rather have the kill himself, but then again, if Annihilate has a good game, we've seen what this guy can do on his Queen of Pain, let's say, but Axe dropped really low on the top lane. He's just farming the jungle, I guess.
It's actually staying on the hunt here. He's got eyes on 33. They do have High Annihilate. Of course, very close by. Laguna Blade is available, but
he's
won't
still
quite look for the
tanky
setup.
enough,
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Old White is being very pressured on this top lane, and the tier 1 is suffering quite a lot. They might even take it down very early.
And both off-laners getting severely bullied once again in this game.
Annihilate rotates in, so they do not lose this tier 1. Losing this tier 1 when you're playing an axe is really bad because,
This time Limp, he'll persist with the wraparound. He's chasing down Juan here with the Siphon, finds the kill. Now with his presence, he can look to push on, and it's hard for them to hold this tier 1 tower. so much space is being given to Costabile. We saw he got a very good timing on the Midas. I mean, it's 7 minutes in, they are at a 2K lead.
There's a lot of space, and there is a Midas on him. There's also that Fata top lane, and now that's good. 3-3.
He's got the presence of Lim. Lim coming in with the exorcism. Costabile goes straight away from TP out. The Fisher buys time to allow him to get to safety. Good play from Flea.
We've seen this from Flea quite a lot in the last game he played Shaker too. It's not only about these extra dunks that he gets off after he buys that blink. It's about these fissures that save his allies. Like when he was playing with that Queen of Pain on Annihilate, he was saving him time after time with the fissures. 3-3. He will have that duel now, but Flea is a little bit too tanky. Can't just get him.
He's managed to soak in a fair few levels, but as we can see, there's a big difference with the way that Annihilate's been able to move around the map and make things happen. He's really starting to step ahead of what Limp's been able to do on the Death Prophet. We've seen Limp do sort of his best to mirror the movements and go for these moves to both the top lane and the bottom lane, but it hasn't ended up in anything good, and that's going to set him behind.
On the bottom lane, definitely not. On the top lane, they had a small consolation prize of that tower being down, right? And they had some map control of the board next to the shrine. They might lose Fata again.
Yeah, Laguna's back up, and Fata will actually make it away there. The right clicks from Annihilate, not quite enough, and now he's in a whole world of trouble. Fata, he actually comes back close enough to end up going down. Did not need to do that, but feeds his life away nonetheless. Same time down bottom.
3-3.
Go for the connection there, won't be able to lock him down.
Yeah, Fata did die there, but he died after the Lina, which means that he didn't feed any experience, only the gold. Still unnecessary death from him, but...
Yeah, and that time around, Limp does manage to get involved in a good place. Slowing down the progress of Annihilate's Lina.
Yeah, you definitely want to slow him down, because if this guy grows out of control, he can carry the game on himself. Oh, Constable.
I mean, sort of 9 minutes in. I mean, looking at the two carries, they're sort of at the same farm at the moment. Let's see Fata. Let's get clipped by the Fisher. They won't quite get the light strike. I mean, which sort of surprises you more? Is there one of these carries that you feel shouldn't have been able to get away with as much farm as they have been so far?
The way they're playing these lanes, if you have an offlaner such as LC, just creep skipping, of course you're going to have as much farm as the CK. You can't really shut him down. They did try to rotate a couple of times and maybe make a play, but with a good positioning from Flea, he was able to escape every single time. And I'm more worried for Alliance, though. They need to step it up. They need to be very aggressive. Comes after this next bounty room fight, perhaps, because CK, I don't see a true counter for him on the Alliance. Yeah, you have Magnus with the Empower. It's amazing. Don't get me wrong, but at the same time, you have this Axe, which will be able to counterplay you every time. You have the Shaker.
Upon the Phantasm, find himself a bit of a freebie, drags back Fata, the Dragon is dead. 33 cannot get a look in on the fight. Nico Baby's trying to charge forward, but actually gets rooted in place by the Prowlers.
Flea, he does not have that fissure to work with.
So if they want to go for the setup, they will get the duel. Nico Baby's in, they'll have the damage, and we'll get him just before the duel ends. So a bit of bonus going the way of 33 there.
Well played. At the same time, a little bit unfortunate that Lina has rotated towards that bottom lane. Perhaps if he stayed mid, he could pressure the mid-tier 1 instead of being where he is at the moment. But we do see a Shaker rotation, and they are defending the tier 1 on the bottom lane.
Also on a bit of a hunt for Costabile. And Limp with that Arcane Rune.
Jukes.
I think Confinder starts the fight with more than happy to pop the Exorcism, but as it were, he's out through the trees. Costabile back to safety and will continue on his farm towards that armlet after the Midas.
Juan making some stacks in the jungle for his CK, for the Axe, I believe as well. Also having quite a good time on the Kotl. Yeah, you see Old White just building straight into that blink. There's a timing play concerning Axe and Jug. If Jug rolls out of control, if he has a good start, if he's really far ahead of Axe, you don't really care about that Blink and Blade Mill. But if they're kind of on the same amount of farm, once Axe jumps in with the Blade Mill, like, you can just die to that as Jug. So they have to play very carefully around the Omni / around that Axe.
Yeah, I mean, for sure, we're just going to see this game, both Costabile's CK and Nico Baby's Jug stay far at the top, right? Because the Jug, he's got the Empower, the CK, he's got the Midas. They've both got these great farming tools that are going to allow them to clean up the jungle and for Costabile clean up the lanes incredibly efficiently.
Yeah, it's pretty much a free Battle Fury for Jug, right? You have Hanskins, Magnus just constantly following you. It's not about the RP when you're in position 4. Magnus. It's about that Empower. Just following your core, giving him Empower, just boosting his farm as hard as possible. I'm actually surprised Chaos Knight is able to keep up with an Empowered Jug this whole time.
Bit of an attempt to push them back away from the mid lane. Top lane Fada, he's left alone. Now move in, take the Jakiro down. The TP will start to come in. Actually, it's going to be cancelled as Nico Baby doesn't see the need to head up there, and understandably so. It would have only been him against the 3 heroes of Demon Slayers. Demon Slayers quick to now move towards the mid lane. They don't want to give up any further tier 1 towers.
Very interesting though, because of that TP cancellation, Costabile might be able to just go on this tier 1 tower, but considering he doesn't see anyone on the map, he's just a little bit too scared, hiding in the forest. There is still a smoke, right, coming from Radiant. Yeah, they're moving as 4. So they're not showing anyone on the map at the moment. But can they catch this Magnus, perhaps? Let's see. They do have that long-range initiation with a fissure.
So much farm here, though, for Nico Baby around the Ancients. Hansken, he's already
smelled it.
He knows that something's up with the aggression. Costabile, the fissure.
Oh, so cool. But he cancels it.
He what?
Why?
Why?
He got spooked.
He did, I guess.
Got spooked. He thought he was stunned. He wasn't.
He cancelled it. Yeah, he was out. I'm pretty sure he was out.
He was gone. Very unfortunate. Very, very nice for Demon Slayers, as they can take down that tier 1, but a mirror movement is happening from Alliance. Fata. Oh, Fata. They're running him down. Kotl is there. There's Will-O-the-Wisp, actually committed as well.
Yeah, TPs are going to come in to try and stop him. Of course, a bit of an overlap with those initial stuns. They do get the lockdown there. It's the call back online. Lee, he just drops down the slam. There will be a duel of the Cypher. They're looking for the bonus damage. Can they save the light strike away? The Laguna, they're keeping him alive. Flea will be saved. The Crips one finally gets him. But they've lost the Legion. They'll now turn another light strike around to Lim, but he gets the 2 siphons off. The heal's too strong. They cannot go for the kill.
Yeah, once there's the double suck, you instantly fall back. You can't kill that Prophet any longer. You do take down the Legion and the Jakiro. You don't feed the dual damage. You're pretty much satisfied if you're Demon Slayers. But you did use quite a lot of ultis. You used the Will-O-Wisp, you used the Echo.
Costabile, he's going to want to go on this. He has Armlet and level 12. He's got the Phantasm ready to pop if necessary. Nico Baby knows that this is a fight they don't want to take. He's going to try and offer the healing ward out to help Hansken. He's bouncing around, but the Yules is there. He's going to done all of the damage. Ice Pass there. Fada's able to get him on the way back down. Annihilate is gone. The rest have to retreat, but they've got the backup. He's ready to fight. Costabile pops the Phantasm. Fada trying to juke it out of the trees, but the jump, the call, oh boy, he's grabbed the jump. Nico Baby with a 3-man silence from Lim. Pushes them back. They can't chase on. The illusions will be micro to finish the Fada. The skewer into the duel. They control Costabile. They get both of the cores as they're not done. Juan will fall as well. Lim, perfect turn up that time. Comes in, 3-man silence. The fight is put to a stop for Demon Slayers.
Yeah, Limp showed up on time at the exact time that he needed to. With the silence, they turn. I believe CK is a little bit too eager to make these moves. Limp.
Limp.
Yeah.
They got him.
There we go. A dunk.
Oh no.
Well, he showed up at the right time, but he overstayed his welcome.
He needed to go home. It was a great play. Great sequence of events for Alliance, and then whoops, there goes your Death Prophet.
There goes your Death Prophet, but she is not really the most important aspect of this draft. It's the Juggernaut, and he survived. He got a kill on Lina, he went back, he's farming now. He got some stacks, empowered farm. He's doing really well, and that's all that matters for Alliance. Also, the fact that they took down that Chaos Knight is super important.
Yeah, big kill to slow down Costabile, and we're starting to see, the Midas, of course, it's going to be great for the farm, but it's hard to just match that in power. Nico Baby storming ahead on the Juggernaut. 3-0-3, of course, flawless showing so far, and he's building those arms to fight, going for the phase drums, S and Y Maelstrom. He's going to be incredibly strong with that Empower, and he's always going to be ready to turn up and fight.
Incredibly strong, incredibly fast. Will be able to get on top of this Lina, and Annihilate, he has to be playing a little bit more carefully. Like when he plays Quap, He can jump in, he can jump out. We heard our panel, Moxie, Grand, they say that they love to see Ayani on these heroes that are very mobile. Lina isn't necessarily that. You need to be positioned really well. He had like save your friend syndrome there kick in. He tried to help out Juan, who was omni-slashed. He takes the omni-slash himself and he dies. Not really the perfect play there. They need him. They need him and his Laguna Blade to take down the Jug or the Dead Prophet. Interesting that they are playing around this bottom lane. There's no bounty rune spawning. Tier 1s are already dead. Tier 1 on mid stands. But I guess they're expecting a move on Juan, as he's the one baiting. A 3-3. He is making that.
He has got the jump. It's the jump. Oh, it's a mess up though. They use and call at the same time.
You need to go.
They've got to back off.
But Ajakiro is in perfect position. Fata reads the situation well as well, and he's around just to break the fight with Ice Path. Tier 2 is there. You can't risk any teleports. You need to move out. A small misplay there, small error in communication.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Stabil. He is the tanky one, but he...
Echo! He starts things off. They got the Will-O-Wisp locked out, but there's the backup. The jump forward. Hansken finds the RP straight down. Only onto Costabile. There's going to be the jump in. They're trying to fight for the jewels there. They've locked them down. They've lost the CK. They've lost the Axe. Both cores down. And Alliance, they'll try and chase for more. Annihilate throws down Alliance Striker 8, but he's surrounded in the river. Left alone. Limp was able to run down Juan. They'll chase down the leader. Blade Freer from Nico Baby dodges the stun. They'll find 4.
Nico Baby just pulling ahead, and this is Rush right here. They have everything they need. They took down 4 of Demon Slayer's heroes, and why not just go straight into the pit? By the way, Alliance, I just have to give it to Fata and everyone that's been involved in their draft, because this looks great. They've read Demon Slayers, they've read exactly what they want to do, and they play accordingly. Look at this. There's
felt
Echo.
So hasty from Flea, committing with the Echo onto a Jug underneath the tower. I feel like 90% of the time, it's not going to go great for you.
They're thinking they can blow him up fast enough, but they cannot, obviously. Axe also falls, feeds 3-3 the damage, and Nico Baby is on the hunt.
Oh, they're crumbling now, Demon Slayers, losing heroes left, right, and center as Alliance get the Roche, get the Aegis, and start to just slaughter Demon Slayers. And now 4K lead, it's building up. Alliance is getting the momentum.
Alliance, they're basically hungry wolves right now on the Radiant side of the map. Just run for your lives, Demon Slayers. They need to find a way to initiate properly. You can't just jump on the Jug. If Legion Commander is around, that won't work.
There's always going to be the safe.
The hero that's making this all work is Jakiro. They need a BKB on Axe, because that Ice Path just denies them the opportunity to reinitiate, to counter-attack with the Axe call, right? You could see it in that fight on the mid lane. Echo happens, then the RP, but then Axe tries to jump in to call, so that he takes away all the damage away from the Chaos Knight. Sadly for him, he jumps into the Ice Path. Old White needs a BKB, but he's going for the Blade Mail first. This is what I was telling you earlier. 13k net for a Jug, 6k net for attacks. Even with that Blade Mail, I don't think it's going to make enough of an impact.
I mean, Nico Baby is just so ridiculously huge for 20 minutes in to have the farm that he has. Sure, he has got the Empower, but even so, every movement done to perfection. He's always been in the right place, never getting caught out, and constantly finding action as Juan will be chased. No way he gets himself out of this.
Nico Baby, man, he's one of those carries right now that just does not do a lot of mistakes. Each game maybe has 2 mistakes, maybe 3, and that's why he's in the grand finals.
Now the push to come in. They've still got, of course, plenty of time with that Aegis to take objectives away from Demon Slayers. They do now have the Echo Slam back up on Flea.
They have the Echo, but it's difficult to take down the Jug before press the attack happens by the Legion Commander. And you can see this super utility build on Legion. 3-3 understands what he needs to be. He was always a kind of a player that understood when he needs to innovate, like Vlad's into Medallion. Medallion, pretty popular right now, but Vlad's definitely isn't on Legion. Good pickup by him.
Here's the high ground push here from Alliance. Limp able to get a good amount of damage done to this tier 3 tower with the Exorcism. A bit of burst, bringing Nico Baby down low, but he can hang back. Wait it off, knows the Limp will continue to weave in and out, taking this tier 3 down lower and lower. Costabile, of course, did manage to push out bottom pretty far. He's TP back, did pick up the Reaver, so getting closer to having that heart.
He's pretty tanky. That heart will most definitely help him out, but it feels like he's one item behind, doesn't it? It feels like he needs that BKB at the moment too, because Jakiro, Magnus, they're just making everything work for Alliance.
Sort of falling to a bit of a similar situation as we saw last game, where Alliance, with their lead, are able to suppress sort of the areas that Demon Slayers can step out into. It's starting to get very scary, the map. Items, big items continuing to fly out for the cause of Alliance. Limp has his BKB, so can go for these high ground sieges with even more confidence.
Suppressing them and their farm is probably the best option for Alliance right now, and you put that really well. At some point you have to give up getting pickoffs and diving them. At some point getting a kill probably isn't as worthy as just keeping them in the base.
They're going to try to fight. They jump in with a call. Will-O-Wisp is dropped down. Oh, by focusing the Jug, another Light Strike Array will hold him in. Flea looks to jump in, won't commit the Echo for now. Knows this isn't a time to jump, but now he's in trouble. The Omnislash for Nico Baby shreds apart the Earthshaker. A buyback's in play from Flea. Alliance, they're backing off. See if there's any setup. Fisher doesn't want to jump this though.
They took the tower. They force the buyback from Flea, go back, take the shrines, chill out. Ward up the map and keep on suppressing them. If you keep them in the base, you will inevitably grow your lead into some 20k difference, and after that, it will be very, very difficult for Demon Slayers to take down anyone on the side of Alliance.
Radiant's top shrine is under attack.
Now they really need to at least find space for Costa Bile to finish at least the heart. Of course, as this game goes on as well, you see Annihilate, he's starting to really slip behind after having such a good start on that mid lane.
Old White is definitely angry there, calls the ground, but there's the smoke.
How's his blade melt done? I mean, obviously, sure, the Jug, he's got a fair bit of HP and sort of sustain himself, but still, because of the high amount of physical he kicks out, if he can get the call in before the Blade Fury and the Jug hits away, it's likely that Nico Baby's going to bring himself down to at least half HP during that.
The call is great, but Vlad's is also what's preventing the Jug from killing himself. I believe this pickup is great for many different things. Not only that it helps them push, but it also prevents Jug from killing himself during that Blade Mail call. And they have a response of their own in the form of smoke. The Aegis is gone for them, but they feel comfortable. They're ahead 9k and they can find a good pickoff. They could perhaps even push high ground after.
Oh.
Shaker free, what was that?
He has jumped into his death, blindly going into the high ground. That's the Shaker gone. All that they can hope for now as Demon Slayers is to get everyone else out of there. This is not a time to fight. Flea dead for a full minute.
Did he blink in to put that ward up?
So I guess he did get in and place the ward.
Not really successful warding, I mean, it's successful. He did plant the ward. It just cost him his life and he has no buyback, which might mean that they will push your high ground. But you know what? At least you planted the ward. RP? Oh,
he whiffed it.
I said there's lag. There's lag.
Did anything hit him, or did he just hands cannot just not press blink?
I don't know. Maybe he got zapped by electricity from his mouse or something.
His blink is on cooldown. So something went wrong there. So, I mean, well, there's no RP. So with that in mind, that 20 seconds will probably pass for Demon Slayers without them being punished too much.
He just wants to make it fair, No Shaker, no RP, kind of evens it out. What is happening?
I think the blink daggers are having a problem.
Are they working? Sell the blink dagger, buy a new one. That one is broken.
Something's up. We'll see. They've got the Flea Shaker, and we'll see if Flea's blink's working very well. I mean, his blink was working a little too well earlier on as he jumped up to the high ground.
Oh, his blink wasn't operational as well.
Yes. And they're back in the game. 12k lead, though, still for Alliance. And Demon Slayers not to be playing too scared. They're coming out on the map. Trying to get at least some vision down, some information.
There's still this very well-placed ward by Alliance, and I'm surprised no one has taken it down. I believe Kotl will do it just now. The high ground ward up here should be devoted immediately after they retreat. It gives them so much information. It pretty much showed them the Axe and the Chaos Knight, and because of that, Alliance is just able to split up and farm around the Radiant jungle, which also contains the last remaining tier 2 for Demon Slayers, which should fall shortly, as I don't think you're in a position to defend this tower. Juan with a very deep fort. They're thinking about the future. They're preparing for the Roche fight, it seems, and that tier 2 push on top lane.
I see Limp's pick up as well. He does opt to join the Blink Dagger gang. He's got a way to get in. Of course, it's going to be very nice this game. If he could get in and sort of find the silence on the backliners, this sort of Shaker and Cole that are looking to throw their ults in from the sidelines.
Most importantly, he'll be able to jump over Will-O-Wisp, right? And what Kotal does is he separates the fight in two different places. And if you're a Dead Prophet with an ulti on the other side of Will-O-Wisp, you're a pretty sad Dead Prophet. No one invited you to the party and you have to wait it out. So that blink will allow him to get to where all the action is.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
They are getting themselves a little bit of a something here. This tier 2 tower up top won't be held onto by Alliance, so a little bit of cash boost for the team. That will give the money for Annihilate to complete his Aghanims.
That extra amount of damage will definitely come in handy versus Limp versus Jug. Maybe they'll be able to blow him up before the saves. Also, I love this trap. They're just positioning themselves around the tier 2. In case that someone shows up at Alliance, they're a little bit too experienced, too seasoned, all of them, for that kind of a mistake to happen.
They're not going to fall for the trap for now, and also Alliance just scouting out the pit, getting the courier in there, seeing if they can set up for moving across for Roche.
Annihilate, no buyback. Aghanims is up. Juan is followed, and there's a blink on Limp.
There's Limp, can get in there.
Jules, Nico Baby will get him.
Oh, good blast back, but Hansken, he's got the grab. They're going to go for the RP. Old White tried to jump in to rectify things. Costa Pile's in as well. They have killed off Hansken. Slams out from Flea with the BKB. It's out for Limp. Silence as well onto Costa Pile. The Omni Slash tears apart the Chaos Knight.
Yes, no
as
buyback.
Costa Pile dead for a minute. They'll move up to the high ground with that exorcism as Alliance start to destroy the entirety of Demon Slayers.
This should be game. Nico Baby says, screw the lane, go straight for the drone.
He's ready to end it. He's ready to push it to a game 5. 11-0-8. He's played this one flawlessly on the Jug.
Just look at him, Skadi, SMY, Mjolnir, you are not killing Nico Baby.
They just left no chance at all for Demon Slayer, sort of from the laning stage onwards. They had sort of a hopeful looking start, Demon Slayer, but ever since then, Alliance just outmaneuvering, out-farming and outplaying them. GG is called, and with that, the series stands 2-2. We're going to get ourselves a game 5, Lizards.
Full 5-game series coming from Demon Slayers and Alliance in the grand finals with the Cinderella story. I mean, this is perfect scenario for us. Perfect scenario for anyone that enjoys this game, that enjoys watching two teams of this caliber play it out. I love the fact that all the tier 1 teams went and had some vacation, you know, not all of them, but most of them, because it allows teams like these ones to show up, to show us what they possess, the skill set. Who would guess that some tier 2 team from NA would come here and be in grand finals versus Alliance? Before this tournament, I definitely wasn't. Like, we all signed them off in the first day, but they're in the grand finals. They have one more game remaining, and they need to win it in order to win.
I do, because now comes the real test, right? You know, sure, a great start for the best of 5 where Demon Slayers take those first 2 games, but this game 3 and game 4 were so methodical and flawless from Alliance. Yeah, now is the real problem for them. You've got to sort of, they've got to ask themselves, you know, can we pick ourselves up? Can we come back in this situation where we've been knocked down hard 2 games in a row? Alliance back to giving us the level of performances that we've seen from them throughout the qualifiers they played and throughout the rest of their event. This is Alliance back at top 4.
Yeah, they went 2 games up, but you know what? They lost the whole day 1 and then they came back. So now they lost 2 games in a row. Perhaps it's their time to show up again, to have one of those pep talks that they always have before a game. Perhaps hug, you know, like put all your hands together. I don't know what you do, some magic from SA, and go for it.
Well, we've got to see, but all very exciting here at the CORSAIR DreamLeague Season 12. 2-2 it stands. Both teams 1 game away from taking that championship title. We'll find out who's going to do it after the break.